I just don't think
I'm tired of that whole mental health thing too that's going on.
Yeah, and that's another thing that people are trying to take advantage of instead of just keeping it G or whatever. In regards to like our lack of wanting to talk to somebody, we want to do something different with it, or we want to find a way to angle ourselves to make money off of it, and it's just super corny, man. But yeah, man, like you said, man, we could talk about this for days, but that's why I reached out to you, man, because a lot of people listening, like, they don't understand, man, that it's people that's doing music business and tech business and whatever, but they're intelligent and they have their eyes on what's going on around the world of politics. And just because they don't post, everything that happens at every, MSNBC or CNN pundit, that don't mean that they aren't aware, of what's going on, man. And like I said, I've always respected the fact that, like, you really are independent voice and thinker when it comes to how you use your vote. And I just want more people to have the courage to do that and stop just falling in line. That's never been a win. Like, no. Kerry was a compromise. People wanted Howard Dean, but Howard Dean screamed. So they said, "Oh my God, we can't use him. He screamed," or whatever. So they went with Kerry, the safe choice, and then he lost. They said, "Oh, we can't go with Bernie because the world ain't ready for that. Hillary, she got to be the first woman, whatever. That was the safe choice. Everybody thought it, including me. I was just like, all right, I don't think she's a better, but I think she'll win.
Bro, I was so mad that I voted for her in the general election. I hated it. I hated it. In the primary, I voted for the other the independent guy. What's his name? I still follow him. I can't think of his name at the moment, but I voted for him. So I voted Republican before. I voted for Mitt Romney in the primary against Obama. In the primary. And then I ended up working on Obama's campaign in the general election in Florida. You know what I mean? Because I really believe what he was talking about later.
Well, a true independent, man, and and that's what we need, man. And too many people, especially blacks, is into this tribal thing where they just want to fall in line. And instead of worrying about a black agenda, black people should be voicing their power and saying, "Hey, this is the last election in which we're going to do this. If we start to see stuff start moving behind the scenes, we're going to move our support for an independent candidate, and if it costs you out of the election, it costs you out of the election." And until blacks are just saying, you know what, we got to do something because they're just forcing us to just vote for the least bad person, instead of somebody that really has us included in the entire mix. Like I said, a black agenda just, to me, all that does is like affirmative action stuff or whatever.
Thank you. And that's why you're my guy.
I like I said, include me in what's going on. Like when you tell me that there's an opportunity for myself, my wife, or my children, like I want to have the same opportunity that the next man has, And I don't, I don't want this, thing or whatever. So that's the agenda that I want for going forward. So it don't have to be a black agenda. It has to just be an inclusive agenda to where we have opportunities. And if we decided to move somewhere, build some houses, and do this, we'll get the same support as the next people do, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
Stuff like that, man. So like MSNBC, next time y'all want to hear about black folks, holler at me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't in bed with nobody, and I'm just gonna give it to you, just from a retrospect or a perspective, of us moving forward.
I agree.
Like I ain't just anti-gun and all this other stuff like the typical progressive is. You know, I just think that it's common sense, and that's it. You know, and if we were just to enforce common sense, everything else would take care of itself. But because
I totally agree.
Every ruling or every attempt at a ruling, people with guns think that that's going to be the beginning of avalanche of rulings. They don't want to do anything, you know. And then it's people on the left that really think with all the guns that's already been distributed that you're going to really make less gun owners. Like, are you stupid? Like,
right.
it's 1,000 guns being purchased right now.
It is.
You know, like with all that's going on right now. So, you know, it's just stuff like that.
I can't lie. I just bought one. I just ordered one today that I'm going to go pick up this afternoon, this evening.
There you go. And he for real, man, because when I was down there with him one time, we went straight to the sporting goods shop so he could, like, you know, pre-plan for something he was going to treat himself to. So, yeah,
yep.
Right up in that junk.
I take my wife to the gun range regularly. Take my son. I'm about to take my son soon to the gun range. I'm not, dog. The problem is this. We're too scared to exercise our rights. And I know you get ready to close out, but I'll say this. I have my gun on me. I open carry. I have concealed, but I open carry from time to time. And I had my pistol on me yesterday, Sunday. And I was out with the family, went to get ice cream. And white people had no issue. A black woman whispered to her husband, why has he got his gun on him? All the stuff that's happening to black people out here, he is stupid for having his gun on him. He could be killed. That's what they want us to think. That's what they want us to think. And my whole thing is, look, and just like you said, we can keep going on and on about this, but this is what I want to say, is that even if you don't have a license to carry concealed, in Virginia, North Carolina, and I know even in most southern and Midwestern states, you can open carry, period. Like, that's just the law. And the fact that so many black people are scared I remember when I first moved to Virginia, bro, and I was a manager at a Wendy's, and I was working the drive-thru. And dude came through, and he had the joint on his seat. And I was like, you might want to be careful out there. He said, oh, I'm straight, man. Right? That's what we got to do. He said, you talk a little funny. You one of them yonkers anyway. He said, nah, we do things differently down here, man. As long as they can see it, I'm good. And I was like, oh. He said, yeah, read up, bro. And that's when I started to, and that's what I was trying to tell people is that, like, yo, it's really like if you got a holster and boom, and you ain't on no can't own gun list, whatever, you Gucci. And more people should be doing that, not from some thug standpoint, but from the same standpoint as other people. Like, you want to protect yourself. Yeah, man. So that's my problem with the progressives that are so, like, every time there's a school shooting and then they want to start just talking about it's too many this, it's too many that. I'm like, look, man, that's not the problem. The problem is people. And until you start working on people, man, like, nothing you do from a gun restriction standpoint is going to change anything. So, yeah, I agree.
That's what's good, man. But, yo, man, tell people how they can get in contact with you, bro.
Man, just follow me on social media, man. On Instagram, it's TS is who I am. On Twitter, it's the same thing. TS is who I am. Also follow my show. It's called The Sit Down. We have season 2 dropping very soon. I'm going to start releasing episodes from season 2 next month. Just getting a lot of dope interviews. We upping the ante a little bit, speaking to quite a few real great people. And, you know, not so much music, but because that's for a reason. Like, I want y'all to see more. It's going to be a little more same thing, politics, conversation. Is going to be just learning about people around the way. It's not like Joe Budden. It's not like a lot of these sit-down shows that you see. This is like real people people that you can relate to and know what's going on and check out their businesses and stuff like that. My goal is to enhance the entrepreneurs out there. So the Sit Down, it's a Facebook TV show, and we're migrating over to YouTube, and got a couple other things. I have a Roku app dropping as well. The app is already up. I'm gonna put content on it very, very soon. But just check us out, man. It's check me out. TS is who I am, LaShawn Jones. All right.
All right, man. I just want to thank you, as always, man, for making time for me. I want to thank you for dropping jewels, man, for my listeners. Good luck, with your artists, your podcast network, and the shows that you do are always, like, on the cutting edge. It's always something creative or whatever.
Thank you,
so I always enjoy the content that you're putting out, man. So, like I said, man, keep doing what you're doing, man, and just being an example, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing and being an example, bro.
Too, bro. Thank you, man.
Thank you. And I'll talk to you again soon, and I'll be hitting you up when we're going to air this, bro. Thank you again, my man.
All right, bro. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, just like LaShawn said, it's funny listening to yourself. But, man, I hope y'all enjoy me and my guy kicking it about a variety of different topics. And just to know, man, at the beginning of this show, I was saying, yeah, there's some loose rules in New Jersey, and they're not doing this and they're not doing that. And probably about an hour ago, police came down the street on the loudspeaker saying that there's a curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. and everybody should be inside, and letting you know that if you do leave the house, I guess if you still have to go to work or whatever, that you'll be subject to stop so that they can verify that, man. So it just seemed like day by day, minute by minute, it's more restrictions and more things coming. What I suggest to people, and I'm no expert on this, we all are like working our way through all this or whatever, but every day, like, I'm out, like, I grab something, extra to throw in the freezer. Fortunately, I know a few business owners, so I don't have to fight for sanitizer and wipes and toilet paper or whatever. I could get them to put something to the side for me, when their truck is coming or whatever. But I just day by day, just grabbing a few things, here and there, whatever, just, building up, whatever, instead of like trying to, go and stockpile, and we don't know what's ahead. They're already having stores where they're having like senior citizen only hours and stuff, just to allow them to shop and not be around a whole lot of people or whatever. And I think those are great ideas too, man. But I just suggest, man, the biggest influence besides the media is peer pressure. So if you see somebody that your peers with, your friends with, you're cool with, that's violating what's going on, that's just being careless or whatever, it's just not the time for that. If you know people or businesses that are operating in a way they shouldn't be operating, there's just not the time for that. And they could talk about all the monetary things that they're losing right now. It's just not fair. Somebody argue me down about, I felt like the selfishness of the gentleman in New York who knew he had it, was already under quarantine and left quarantine to go to his daughter's dance recital. And I was like, do you know how many people he could affect at that dance recital? And he don't know what ailments those people there already have, or health conditions those people already have. And all he thought about was himself. You know, that wasn't about his child. That was about him. And it was a case in Maryland, not a case